Hi, superstars. It is time for science. We are on the module Impacts on Earth's Systems, and we are learning about how plants change the environment. Look at this photo. The tree is a plant, and the tree changed the place it grows. What do you wonder about the change? What do you notice about the sidewalk? Well, it's broken. That's right, it got cracked and the bricks are coming out. Have you ever seen something like this before when you were taking a walk? What part of the tree broke the sidewalk? The roots, correct. Can you describe how the tree broke the sidewalk? What happened to the roots? The roots grew bigger and they pushed on the sidewalk and cracked it. That is correct. This is Kayla, and Kayla wants to be a landscape architect. Have you heard of a landscape architect? Landscape architects need to know about plants and where they live. They study how plants grow. That is how they know the ways plants will change their environment. Let's watch the video of Kayla.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and every spring I help my grandma plan our flower garden, just like a landscape architect. Landscape architects make plans and decide what plants go in a garden for a museum or park. They might also help businesses plan what the landscape around their building will look like too. To make the gardens look nice, a landscape architect needs to know a lot about plants. Plants have different needs. Some require a lot of sun, some require a lot of water. They also need to know how big plants will grow. Our garden gets a lot of shade, so we need to pick flowers that don't need a lot of sun.
Kayla?
Oops, my grandma is calling me. I better get back to planning our garden.
Let's turn to page 134 in your science book. Okay, let's read the top. It says, Science in My World. You see tree roots breaking a sidewalk. Remember, you saw that picture. Think about how this happens. And what do you wonder? Kayla says, I wonder how the tree roots broke the sidewalk. Remember, our essential question is, how do plants change the environment? So what you're going to do here, you are going to paste or draw pictures of plants that changed their environment. So I want you to think about plants that changed their environment. You can draw or you can cut and paste a picture with an adult or an older sibling of plants that change their environment. Let's listen to the story, Changes Around Town.
Changes around town. Let's go, Grandpa, said Megan happily. One thing she loved about her visits with her grandpa was seeing what was happening around the town. She looked forward to hearing his stories about how much had changed since he had lived in the town his whole life. Okay, he replied. I think you'll be surprised at the changes. The first change Megan noticed was at the end of the block. She gasped, What happened to the tree? The huge oak tree in Mrs. Monroe's front yard was gone. The roots on that tree grew down into the water pipes said Grandpa. One pipe finally burst. The front yard was full of water. Her grandpa smiled as he continued. But don't worry, we all helped pay to move the tree. Now it's in the backyard, see? Soon her grandpa pointed out another difference. The oldest house in town had a brand new brick chimney. That house has been the same for many years, he said. But the Cohens had to get a new chimney. Some squirrels made the old chimney their home. They tried many ways to get the squirrels out, but finally they decided to just tear down the chimney. Where are the squirrels now? Asked Megan. They found a new home in a nice tree. As they entered the town square, Megan noticed another change. Leafy vines now covered an arbor over the bench. They made the spot shady and cool. This is a nice change, said Megan. The shade feels good. I was getting hot. Her grandpa agreed. This arbor also makes a good home for the birds. They rested for a while and listened to the birds sing. Megan and her grandpa arrived next at an empty lot on the edge of town. The last time Megan visited, an old gas station had been there. It was torn down, her grandpa said. I'm glad. This field is nicer than an old empty building. The gas station had been there since I was a boy. I used to stop there for a cold drink on hot days. Their final stop was a favorite ice cream shop. This doesn't look different, Megan said. Megan's grandpa smiled. It hasn't always been an ice cream shop. When I was young, this was a park. The shop was built in its place. Now we can enjoy ice cream here instead.
Let's go to page 134 in your science book. Let's investigate. It says tree versus rock. What will happen to the rock? Draw a picture. Can a tree change a rock? Draw your prediction. Remember, a prediction is a statement of what you expect to observe in the future. So you are going to draw your prediction over here. Here, she's saying, make your tree grow. How do trees get bigger? Do you remember? How do trees get bigger? You saw the picture of the tree on the sidewalk. So the roots are growing, right? So if you're going to make a model, you can use clay and twigs to show how tree roots change a rock. So let's go over here to our next page, page 136. It says, what happened to the rock? And it says, draw a picture. You can make a tree out of twigs pushed into clay. The tree should be about the same size or bigger than the rock. So remember that the roots and the trunk of the tree changed the sidewalk in the photo we saw. So focus on that part, the roots and the trunk. So what you'll do is you're going to make your tree grow, and you're going to show the way that it changes the rock. So you can put the rock and the tree together and add clay to make the tree grow. So if you have Play-Doh or anything like that, you can do that and draw a picture of what happens to the rock as the tree grows. Okay, and that's on page 136. Let's learn some new vocabulary words. The first word is environment. Can you say environment? Environment means everything that surrounds living things, the natural world. Environment. Here's a picture. Need. Something you must have in order to live. Need. What does it look like he needs? Food. So food is something that we need in order to live, and environment or environment is everything that surrounds living things, the natural world. Let's listen to this story. Plants and animals change their environments.
Plants and animals change their environments. Turtles use rocks. Environments are important. Plants and animals need a safe home and food in order to live. Their environment is important for their health. An environment is everything that surrounds living things. Plants, worms, and soil are part of a bird's environment. Birds use plants. Plants change their environment. Plants can provide shade. This cools other plants, animals, and people when it is too hot. Plants help things cool down on a hot day. Plants provide food and safe homes for animals. Where there are many plants, there are many animals. Plants attract animals. Plants change the ground. Plants help protect the ground because they hold soil together. During rainstorms, soil that has plants will not wash away as fast as soil without plants. Plants help protect land when it rains. Soil washes away when there are no plants. Plants can break through the ground and crack sidewalks. Sometimes people cut down big trees if the roots are causing too much damage to sidewalks or underground pipes. Animals that used that tree have to find a new environment. Tree roots can break through the ground. Animals change their environment. Animals move things in their environment to make their homes. They change the land above and below the ground. Sea turtles nest in the sand. Armadillos make homes called burrows. A burrow is a hole in the ground. Sometimes armadillos dig the holes close to houses. The digging can damage concrete and pipes. An armadillo builds a burrow in the side of a hill. Chipmunks dig holes. Birds move sticks to make nests. Animal food trails. Animals change the environment as they find food for themselves. Some animals eat the plants around them. They drop plant seeds as they move. Then, new plants grow in new places. Animals drop seeds as they eat. Big animals create paths as they move around to find food and water. Long ago, people followed these trails. Later, people built roads along these paths. Now, animals have to move away from these roads to find a better environment for themselves. Animals make paths.
How can plants help other plants, animals, and people when it is too hot? Plants can provide shade. This cools other plants, animals, and people when it's too hot. Do you ever stand under a tree when it's sunny outside so that you can have some shade? What is one way an animal can change its environment? Animals move things in their environment to make their homes. They change the land above and below the ground. That's how they change their environment. What is one way a plant can change its environment? Plants change the ground. Plants help protect the ground because they hold soil together. During rainstorms, soil that has plants will not wash away as fast as soil without plants. Let's open our science books to page 137. You listened to some vocabulary. Remember, we discussed environment and need. So I want you to use these new words to draw a picture. We spoke about plants and animals changing their environments. We read or we listened to the story. So I want you to use the new words and draw a picture that shows how plants and animals change their environments. Your drawings could show how plants cool the environment, giving animals what they need, and holding soil in place. Remember we spoke about that? Excuse me. So draw some pictures showing me how plants and animals change their environments. You can go back and listen to the story about plants and animals changing their environment to get some ideas if you need. Many things can change the environment. We're going to watch a video. It's called Changing Environments. And this video shows many changes that happen to the earth and gives their causes. Let's watch.
Did you know that Earth changes over time? And these changes can be caused by nature or by living things. Look at how beautiful the Grand Canyon is. But it hasn't always looked this way. Actually, many years ago, the Grand Canyon probably looked like this. The Colorado River has been flowing through this area for millions of years. Over time, the river has carved through the land to form these beautiful canyons. Here's another example of a change caused by nature. The strong winds during a thunderstorm blew this tree over. Some changes are caused by living things. Look at this big city. Do you think this area always looked like this? Nope. Years ago, the city might have looked something like this. Over the years, people changed the land to build the city. Here's another example of a change caused by living things. This person is using a bulldozer to move and change the land. Can you think of other examples of how Earth changes?
Okay, we watched that video. What is an example of a change caused by a non-living thing? In that video, what non-living thing caused a change? Well, there was water making a canyon. So the Grand Canyon was caused by, the change in the Grand Canyon was caused by a non-living thing, water. What is an example of a change caused by a living thing? Do you remember something in that video that was caused by a living thing? What changes? Well, I think it was the city built by people. That's right. Now let's turn to page 138. Look at the pictures and circle the picture that shows changes made by humans. So which picture shows changes made by humans? Circle the best answer. Let's turn to page 139. Plants make shade. Draw a plant that makes shade for people. So make sure when you draw your plant that it's big enough to make shade for people. So it can't just be a little small plant on the ground. So think about what type of plant you're going to draw, okay? Okay, let's look at this tree and let's see what happened to the sidewalk. So up here is the tree. This is the tree. It's been here longer than the sidewalk. The tree has been growing for a long time. Now let's look over here. The ground. The tree grew above the ground. It also grew over the ground. The roots help the tree get water and food. Now let's look at the sidewalk. Sidewalk. Something is pushing the sidewalk up. What do you think is pushing the sidewalk up? It's under the ground, so it must be the roots. That's correct. Good job. Open your science book to page 140. Explore to learn how the tree changed the environment. Look at the picture. Circle the part of the tree that changed. So which part changed the environment? Circle it. Did you know that plants clean our air? So let's look over here. Plants clean the air. Plants clean the air for other living things. Plants need gases that other living things do not need. They take in air and release oxygen. Animals need oxygen to breathe. People need oxygen to breathe. Okay, so how do plants change the air to help people? Remember, plants release oxygen and people need to breathe oxygen. What do plants need that other living things do not? Some other gases in the air. So let's go to page 141. Plants clean the air. What living things breathe oxygen? Circle them. Remember, which of these living things need oxygen? Circle your answers. You can go back and listen if you need to. Let's turn to page 142 in your science book. Okay, you might need help from your mom or dad or an older sibling while you're doing this. You're going to make a poster about how plants change the environment. So you might need some markers or colored pencils or crayons and either a piece of paper or construction paper, whatever you have. You're going to write the words before and after on your piece of paper, just like they have over here. And it says, what kinds of changes do plants make to the environment? Remember, we spoke about how plants change the environment. So you're going to have to think about that. You can go back and watch some videos if you need to. You're going to draw a plant under before. So you're going to pick a plant, and then you're going to draw an environment where that plant lives. Think about how the plant would change the environment. Then you would draw the changes under after. So your plant and its environment. Something you could draw would be a tree, maybe in a forest. What changes do you think would happen? What changes would you draw if you had a tree in a forest? You're going to pick your own plant and environment, but this is just an example. Well, a tree, what usually happens in a tree? It's a home for birds and squirrels, right? So what change would that plant have made in its environment? Well, maybe the animals that are living in the tree carry the tree's nuts away and make new trees grow. So you're going to pick your plant and environment and show how it changed in the after. Okay, and then I can't wait to see what you all come up with. So let's go to our next page, which is page 143. All right, the question we asked at the beginning of this module was, how do plants change the environment? So I want you to write the answer. How do plants change the environment? What do plants do? Well, we saw that tree. What did it do to the sidewalk? Well, it can break rocks, right? So plants break rocks. What else? And rocks include sidewalks, of course. What else do plants do? How do they change the environment? Well, they give us shade, right? And what else? There's so many things. How about homes? They give animals homes. All right, superstars. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.